Hey everybody, my name is Lampy Moth, and today I'm going to teach you how to add ARM physics to your model. Now this isn't for everybody, and you don't have to add this to your model, but it'll definitely make your model stand out a lot more, and it'll make it look a lot more lively. So if that's what you're looking for, this is the video for you. Without further ado, let's begin. We're going to keep that shoulder hidden for a minute. What we do next, select the upper arm, select the forearm, and then we make ARM Phys X. Now, you only use the green boxes for this physics deformer for the arms if you're planning on future-proofing your model. If you plan on adding other features that involve increasing or decreasing the size of the model or reshaping it, if you choose to give it a chibi toggle, then you're gonna want to have this be a warp deformer, a green box, rather than a rotation deformer. If you have no intention of having a future toggle that warps the shape of certain features at all whatsoever, use a rotation deformer. Makes it so much easier. So now that we got all of that set up, what we want to do, stick with our ARM Physics X and bump them both up to 10. Next, instead of going for angle X and Y, we need to make a new parameter, a new one of these dials. Go to our parameter page, go to the plus button, and then this tab will pop up. We want to name this, and we're going to name this ARM X. Parameter ID, do not touch that, not necessary. Ranges. The ranges basically means if it's going to go completely in one direction or the other. Consider it like this. Let's say we're working with an X angle, left and right if you will. Maximum means this number goes all the way to the right. The other number goes all the way to the left. That's the best way to explain it. All right, so for the next step, we're going to turn the maximum to 30 and the minimum to negative 30, and then we're going to put OK. We got our ARM physics, but we still need to make a few more, so let's actually duplicate this. We're going to call this one ARM Phys Y and duplicate. We also need to make one for the forearms and then make a new one. And we need to make one for all the fingers, but now we need to make 3 of them in particular. And you're probably thinking, oh yeah, 1, 2, 3, wait, don't you have like 4 or 5 fingers? That would be the case, but we're actually going to make them for each joint per finger. So, in case you're wondering, it's just going to be the first row of joints, second row of joints, third row of joints. And so it makes it slightly easier, but we still got a lot of work to do. So, we're going to call this one F1. Bring the minimum down to 10 and the maximum to 10. We right click on it and we go to replicate parameter and then replicate one more time. Go back to the second one and edit that and put that as a 2. We go back over here, edit parameter, and put this as a 3. All right, so now we have all the physics settings for the arm. So here's what we need to do. We need to go to ARM Physics X for both the deformer, that's the green box, and the parameter. Now that we got them both selected, put the green dots, move it to the right, take this whole thing, move it a bit. Since we're on the topic, when it comes to physics, always remember this. No matter how far the ARM physics actually go in LIVE2D, it's never going to go that far in VTube Studio. So, if you think this is exactly how I want it to work, bump it up a little bit. So let's move this arm, let's see. I think we could just pull the arm out just a little bit. There we go, better. Now we just need to rotate this back a little bit. Since we're on the left side, it's not going to move as much as it would on the right. On the right, it has a lot more room to actually swing. There we go. Rotation looks a lot better. We got the arm physics set up. Now all we need to do is work on the forearm rotation. So let's select everything underneath. We need to call this forearm Phys. We go to our forearm parameter right here, put the 3 dots on that. Let's start doing some rotating. Yeah, pretty smooth in my opinion. That works. It has a slight movement, but that's okay because you don't want that arm moving in the complete opposite direction. Because if it did, that would mean that either A, you're double jointed, or B, your arm is broken, which you should probably go to the hospital for. Let's go over here to the arm, go to the hand physics, make a new deformer for all of that. We're going to just call this hand Phys. Go to the hand parameter, put the 3 dots, move it to the right, and at this point, we're just treading old ground. Let's hide the fluff for a minute. Pretty solid movement in my personal opinion. So that should be good. And especially when we go back to the fluff, you put that over there, go over here, put the hand physics, move it to the right. And now we have our hand physics setting. There we go. We're all set. Next is to work on the fingers. And this is going to be a tricky one. Just had to hide most of the body until the hands were the only things visible. Now with that, we can start working on all the individual parts. So, first part, the thumb. Not too difficult. This is going to be the only physics setting for it. So, let's go to F1 for the 3 finger rows and put the 3 dots, move it to the right. And for this one, we're going to go back to the inspector tab over here and do as before. Bump up the conversion settings so we can select enough of this where it's just a thumb. And rotate that sucker a bit, move it over. Now let's see what we got. Yeah, so far so good. Now let's move it to the other end. If the opposable thumb can't really go that far, then, you know, something's wrong. And now we got the first set of the fingers done. We go back to the thumb part itself. Not the deformer, but the actual layer. Make a new deformer right here. Make a new green box. And call this T2 for thumb. Then we put OK. And what we want to do is select all the way up to these anchor points right here. We want to select everything underneath these dots because this is going to be the stopping point, as you will see soon enough. Let's go to F2 for this part. Put the 3 dots. Move it to the right. And then we move it like so. Drag it to the other end. And as you will see, this part stops exactly where we need it to be. And that should be good. Now let's see what the other side looks like. Okay. Now, of course, if you want it to be a little more advanced with the hand movements, you would want multiple layers. For example, the thumb would be broken into 2 different layers. But for this case, I feel like we don't need that much movement just yet. Or we don't need that much movement focused solely on the hand, so it should be okay. Next, pointer. Go back over here. Put the 3 dots on F1. Move it in one direction. Rotate it. Move it up a bit. And just keep rotating and keep moving up until you got everything exactly how you need it to be. And I think that, for the most part, it was relatively okay. Now we move it to the left. This is where things really need to move. So we got that section done. Next, what we need to do, go to the next one, make a new pointer finger. We're going to call that one point 2. Except for pointer 2, bump the division to, I want to say 6. What we need to do next is actually move it in the opposite way. So let's go to reflect. Or yeah, let's right click on this, go to reflect. Boom. So now it moves to the right. That'll actually do the reflection. Boom. Like so. And now for the last one, because unlike the thumb, the finger has 3 parts. Let's go back to the pointer layer, make point 3, bump up the division to at least 8. There we go. Perfect. So now let's see what it looks like at the end of the day. Move it to the right. Move that. Move one more. There we go. Should be good there. Move it down. Move the other one. Perfect. Okay, so we got the thumb and we got the first finger done. Now the other 3, it's about the same process. So I'm just probably going to skip over to the physics settings and I will see you at that part. Okay, now that all the rigging for the fingers are done, there's just a couple more things that we need to do. What we can do next is go to modeling at the top left tab over here, click on modeling, and drag it all the way down to physics setting, and click right there. Now a new tab will pop up. As you can tell, it's all blanked out, and this part can be very intimidating. Like, what does this do? Like, what is the purpose? Does this change anything? Like, how do I make this actually do the thing that I want it to do? And here's how you do it. So we want to make a group first. We just go to this little tab right here and click on Add. When we click on Add, it's going to ask for name, input preset, and physics preset. Do not worry about these last two here. What we want to do for now is just put name. And we're going to call this one arm X. Because this is going to be the setting that makes the arm move whenever it moves left to right. Now we can also set it up for up and down as well, but we'll get to that later. Right now, arm X. We put OK, and now everything popped up. However, it's still blank, and it still doesn't have anything. That's okay. They have options for you, like head input, body input, bust input, all of that sort of stuff, etc., etc. The names are self-explanatory, but for me personally, I usually leave those alone. I would usually like to go with it manually. And this is how we do it manually. Instead of going for any of those imports, we go to the input settings, and you'll find another box that says Add, right above the input and all that other stuff. We're going to click on that one, and then you'll see that a bunch of things pop up. It shows our parameters. You know, the dials and all that stuff. For this, let's just go with two of them. Make it very simple. X and Z. There's a reason for that, because the body's going to move whenever it tilts to the side or moves left to right. That is the game plan here. So, you're also going to want to make sure that everything is in order. X, position, Z, angle. So we're good with that. Now for the effect. We're going to just put them both at 100% for now. Because normally you would have to share those with other parameters, but for this, since it's only two and they're in the opposite directions, you could put them both at 100. It's fine. Now that we got all of that, the next thing we need to do is go to the physics model settings. This time we actually have to import something. So we click on this tab that says name. It's going to show you a lot of things. It's got hair long, hair short, etc., etc. For this one, I want to go with a triple pendulum. So we're going to go with hair triple pendulum for this. Even though we're working with an arm, we're going to go with that. And then we just click import, like so. And now it's got three little dots. That'll explain a lot more later down the road. And as for the divisions and all this other stuff, we'll get to that later. But right now, this should be fine for now. Now that we put the input, we got to go to the output. Basically, what the input was for is what is going to affect your physics. Output settings is what physics are going to be affected. I'll show you what I mean right now. Now that we went to output settings, you'll see that here changed a little bit. And it's showing pendulum, output, yada, yada, yada. We want to go to add on that one because you can tell that there's nothing there. So we need to add stuff. Let's go to add, click on add. And now it's showing our parameters again. It's showing the, the X, the Y, and all of that stuff. Since this is called arm X, what we want to go with is the arm parameters that we made a while back. So arm X, forearm, and hand. Those are going to be the ones that will be affected by this group setting. So let's put OK. Now that we got arm X, forearm, and hand, we put OK. And you're probably thinking, what about the fingers? Do not worry. We will get to that. They will have their own parameter group. So let's put OK. So now that we got those three, we move it around, and as you can see, it kind of moves just barely, not a lot, and that's okay. That's usually how it starts. The reason why it's not moving all of that much is because the scale is pretty low. If you want to increase the scale, you could do so manually by either typing it in, moving the dial a bit, or you could just go to increase output. Click on this button right here. It'll ask, do you want to increase the output? Yes, but increase the output. Now, it might jump significantly, but as you can tell, it definitely put a lot more movement in the arm. Now, is this the amount of movement do we want for this? Maybe. If you don't want this much movement, you can always just come back down over here and reduce the movement setting a little bit. Just double click on this. Let's bring it down to 30. As for the hand movement, let's put that at 30 as well. Arm physics movement, we could put that at 35. Click like so, and let's see how that changes things. Oh, right, I forgot about that setting. There we go. Now it's not moving as much. It's not as sporadic when it came to the previous movement. That's the whole point of the scale setting. If you want it to move drastically, you bump that number up to a very large number. If you want it to barely move, you bump that down to a very small number. That's usually how the physics setting works. So there we go. We got the arm done. Now that we got that set up, we're going to work on the setting up the fingers. So what we need to do, you put it back on the input setting, like so. Click on add. We're going to put fingers and then click OK. Leave the input setting and the physics setting. We don't need to do anything about that. We can leave that alone. And then put OK. Everything's blank, and that's all right. We are going to go to our input settings and go to our preset, select add, and we're going to put angle X and angle Z again. Put OK. Go to the effect. Put them both at 100. Then we go down to our physics model settings. Click on this. Go to triple pendulum, import, and we're all set. Now, we go all the way back up here where our input settings are, and we put it to output settings. We go to add, click on that, and now we go to where we put all the finger parameters, all of them, each and every single one of them. Then we put OK. Now they're all set up there. Now that it's all set up, we move the hand around a bit. Let's see how the effect goes. Barely anything, and that is okay. What we got to do, increase the output. Put all right on all of that, and then we move, and the hand's moving, I suppose. So all we need to do for that next part is possibly, reduce it or increase. That's for you to decide whether you want to increase the movement or decrease the movement, because at the end of the day, when it comes to the settings, I can only show you how it is done. Past that point, it's basically based on your preference. For the most part, I think this works. If it doesn't look right to you, you can just adjust the settings how you see fit. But for right now, I think the arm movement is working just fine, in my opinion. Now, back to the project at hand. Now that we got the angles for the arm movements for X and Y, what we need to do next is fix up the physics. Because since we worked on... I'll show you what I mean. Since we worked on the arm a little bit, and it moves according to the X and Y factors, as you can see right here, and the movement seems to be okay. However, once we start adding physics to the mix, that's when you're going to see something break. Let's show that right now over here. For example, we move the arm, and you'll see that this whole thing becomes a problem. That is what we're going to fix today. To fix that angle that we got going on right there, what we need to do is go to our forearm deformer, that's the green box over here, and we need to go to our X and Y angle, select it. They could stay linked for this one. We're actually going to need it to stay linked for this one. And we're going to select the 3 dots. So long as it selects it with the 3 dots on all 9 points, it should be okay. Now that we got that going, since it's moving to the right, just need to bump this up a bit, line it up accordingly, and see how that works. We can actually deselect these to see how well that panned out. And chances are... Oh, hey, that actually worked really well. You know what? That's perfect. So we move it there. That part is fine. Move it back up here. We move it upwards. And as you can see, moving it upwards definitely had it bugged. So let's just move this whole thing accordingly. Might even have to go into the layer mesh to have it better lined up. Let's do exactly that right now, as a matter of fact. This is where the issues were lying. So we're going to go to the forearm parameter, and we're going to add a green dot right around the 15 point. Doesn't have to be exact, unless you really want it to be. I think we got all the parts for now. Let's check the physics settings again. The arm seems to be holding, but we're good. And with that, we got the arm rig done. Thank you all for watching. Join us next time when we're going to be rigging the lower half. That includes the legs, the waist, all of that. So, I hope you enjoy, and I hope you all have a good day. You all take care now.